TGIF Warriors, otherwise known as Stop Hunt Friday. Okay. This is a fun day for the algos. We have volume thinning out in front of the election with a major news event. Boy, who wants to be a liquidity provider today?
I do.
I have a feeling I might be, whether I like it or not.
Oh, I
I
do.
mean, what a function, what a function to fulfill to be a liquidity provider until there's no more liquidity. Anyway, hi guys, how are you, team? Hey, Mike, Sinatra, everyone's here. Hail, Bran, hail to you, Kay, James, AJ, George is here, Jean-Francois is here. A lot of Richard, yeah, Patrick, Hugo's here too. Okay, so we're the stop hunts. In the end, it's over this high, which didn't take out this high. And I would say that people that are buying it here that want to trade it tight, which is too tight, might have some here. Um, some of the other stop hunts, I don't know, we took out these. I think the dollar still could fail. I mean, the Dixie already had its stop hunt early in the week for drive 3, right? So, but today's going to make or break everything. The dollar, TLT, which is trying to turn, looks a lot like the euro. So TLT, what I would do today on a strong number is I'd buy a break in TLT and be wrong, not at 89.99. Okay, just right under this low. I'd give it some breathing room. You could use a guideline like 5% of it, so at least 50 pips underneath a swing low. So just in case they do this, they could do that. Just pick you off. How many times have you been right the market, wrong the trade? Right? So that's your main reason. And if you want to know where the stops are, they're where everyone else's are. It's not a mystery. I mean, there's stops over this high for people looking for new lows. And the people that are long bottom picking it have their stops a point or two under these lows. So let your trades breathe. Uh, I want to start off with Kman. What were your impressions about risk off yesterday? I know that we're bouncing here, but that was
Hmm.
a pretty strong bar to the downside.
Yeah, as I said, I think we are ahead of ahead of the election in book managing. We have seen the move yesterday was pretty sizable in a lot of instruments. If you look at the S&P, you look at equity markets, you look at
Gold,
sterling, you look at a bit of yen, you look
yeah.
at some of all the things. You had the correction in gold, you had the correction in silver. It's all this book managing thing going on right now. Yeah, those were pretty anemic moves.
Wow, look how tight the range is in
Yeah, yeah.
copper.
But all those things, again, as I said on the shows, all those things will be ready to explode one way or the other. I think come Wednesday, it's going to be yeah, all hands on deck, and things will well break, falls break, whatever will happen. But I think we just have to be ready for extreme moves, depending on outcomes, or just be ready for them. I'm not saying that we will have those outside moves, but just we need to be ready for them, and it's all part of the running into such a really big event. And we were talking about it no later than a few minutes ago with Blake. You can find those erratic moves now into the elections where latecomers to two moves get wiped out. people having already traded in the way that the markets have been traded, taking profits. Liquidity will probably start to dry up. By the way, I'd love to be a liquidity provider in such markets. I mean, have people trade on both sides of your prices all the time. That's great. But yeah,
Hell
I
of a
think
week in Euro pound. Hell
I'm
of a
sorry.
week. Hell of a week in Euro
Yeah,
pound.
I kind of like it. And I think, as I said, on the back of the budget, and perhaps data starting to show a little bit of weaker print, perhaps, but especially um, the euro side showing perhaps a bit of green shoots out of Germany,
Yeah,
depending how long that lasts. But yeah, I think this euro sterling is a good candidate to try to push a bit higher now.
yeah. Uh, broke out of the wedge. I did have I didn't
Hmm.
draw, but I had this little mini wedge.
Yeah.
So it came out here. Yeah.
And
I, I,
that's been such a great trader this week, and
Mm.
yeah,
after the budget,
yeah,
it's been just a wonderful long. And I'm with Kman. I'm looking to buy that thing on a dip now.
yeah,
Yeah. You just have to watch as well for people if you want to watch correlations, just look at what the gilt market is doing as well because it kind of mimics the gilt market. So today it's calming down a little bit and euro sterling is also calming down a little bit. So it's going to be a good correlation monitor for a while. But yeah, I do think that euro sterling is a candidate to push a bit higher now, providing that those levels just under 84 start to hold.
Isn't it crazy? And I'm sorry, Dale, to be jumping in
look,
here really quick, but just regarding the same conversation that we're having, I mean, isn't this crazy that yields are, or just gilts in general, are trading around the same levels they were, following, the Liz Truss moment and her budget proposal? Isn't it wild that we're the yields are up here? Okay, man.
Well, yes and no. I think there's a lot of stuff in that budget which is going to keep the gilt market on its toes. But um, it to me it's going to be a relatively slow process. And as I've already said yesterday, the sterling could and the gilt market as well could be rather looking at what's going to happen in the bond market now, going into the election. So there may be a bit of a lull there, but I think globally it's not really great, and people will have the trust Boateng moment. I think it's not going to go that extreme, especially not for the sterling as a currency right now. But I think it's going to be a more long-lasting thing because once the UK businesses will start to comment and be careful, it may just have a longer-lasting effect now on the sterling. And what I also would like to guard people against is that it's not because that sterling yields are going up that the sterling should be bought. The comparison or the what the media or some analysts may say that it now reduces the chance for a Bank of England cut are absolute horseshit. It's not while gilt market is nervous that the Bank of England should be cutting less, and actually the opposite may happen if the businesses start to bring down wage growth because the national insurance contributions threshold has been lowered for the wages, so that is probably going to push some businesses to actually start lowering wages, and that is one of the numbers that the Bank of England is looking at. And if you say lower wages, then the Bank of England may actually be even tempted to cut even more.
look at this VIX chart, Blake. It's an ascending triangle here, and
You're
there's
far away
October.
again, Dale.
So far away, doesn't anybody stay at one job anymore? Let's see. I'm see this formation here. It's an ascending triangle with a gap. So if we take it out and look at where the S&Ps are holding, the 50-day. So
It
I think that's pretty critical.
could be going before the elections, and then
Right. And bottom on the election. I don't,
yeah. As you have been saying already, it could be,
Yeah. We'll see. I don't have huge conviction. I think a lot of people want to, let's let's get this party going already. You know, um, waiting for the hurricane to make landfall. Anyway, that's pretty much what I have. It was a negative week unless we really reverse it in the S&Ps. He had a 2-week reversal. I know that Ben Maldonado's cycle works. See this? And okay, so on the daily it was holding the 50, and on the weekly it's a 9-day, and then the 50 is down here. So I don't know. That doesn't look like a great chart to me.
Yeah,
How
and
about you,
and
Blake?
I was in yesterday's move, in my opinion, and this is something we were just talking about in the ForexAnalytix chat room about 45 minutes ago. Yesterday's move lower looked very impulsive.
Yeah,
So if you look intraday, it looks very impulsive. So I would assume there's going to be some sellers on rallies now.
yeah. I was talking 670, but when I look at the daily, just besides just a fib number, I don't see anything that important there at 670. So anyway, we'll see. And also, I think a lot of people are saying if we take out 640, which was the wave 4 level, um, that's a bearish signal. That'll kind of seal the top. And I was in the camp of one pullback, 5-6%, and then one more shot up towards 6,000.
Coach, your microphone is you're coming in really light again.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go to the store, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you one that just sits on your desk that you don't have to keep on top of your head or something.
Yeah,
So
that's probably a big one, like the old radio stations like you have.
right. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
this is a Father's Day gift, and it was a really good one. So years ago. Hey, Coach, you mind if I take over from here?
No,
All
go
right.
ahead.
All right, and it looks like we have Steve joining us today. Good morning, Steve. How are you? Maybe he's not joining us.
Good morning.
Looks like, oh, hey, he is here. Steve, so we got the jobs report coming up. You've had a pretty strong stance all week regarding jobs. So how do you think NFP is going to shake out today? Do you think it's going to be a horrible number and we're going to start losing jobs starting this month?
I have very little trust in government numbers for a very simple reason. They shouldn't be trusted. How do I know that? Because they go back a
you live in
year and
Greece?
then revise it by a huge margin. And I have even less trust in those numbers when it's pre-election. So my assumption would be that we're probably going to beat. I think it's more likely than not. But does this mean anything? No, it doesn't. I'll start having a little bit more faith in the numbers post-elections, and still, very little.
Right. It looks like I mean, it's like, how do you expect that we're going to have a really bad number just before the election? And this is not any election either. I know they're all really important, but this one is obviously, feelings are running hot here in the United States.
Yeah,
So
and let me be very clear. I'm not implying that this is something that the Biden administration would do. I think any administration would do the same thing, because unfortunately, all the agencies, etc., they're not independent, right? They're not, they're not free to, produce honest numbers. Same as central banks. Supposedly they are independent. They're not. We know that. We've seen that multiple times. Presidents are trying to influence their decision making, and they do. And that applies not only to the US, but it's a worldwide problem.
Right. Yeah, and so with such a big election coming up here next week, it's and this is their last say. People are obviously very sensitive to this economy right now. To have a really horrible jobs report just ain't going to happen. So the question is, how does the market react to today's data? And Dale, I'm gonna pull up a couple of charts that I think are really important for us to look at. Now, we don't have Canadian jobs today. But if you guys haven't been following the loonie, this thing is pegged to really very critical resistance. The resistance comes in at 139.50. Obviously, you start looking at 140 and the spike highs back here in October of 22. But you can see just the most recent highs from August. We're at 139 and change. 139.50. Look how close we are to that resistance. A strong number today, which let's just all assume we're going to get, that would be a catalyst to drive the dollar CAD above the highs. And as we were just, by the way, we were just chatting around here in the chat room, and here's Kman's comments to me. And Kman, you can add to this here as you wish. But we were talking about how stops could get triggered above the highs. So how easy is it for the market to clear out these highs above resistance, especially for a lot of people that are short up against this key level? What are your thoughts here?
Well, it's going to be an easier job to do stops today than to take profits, I guess. It's just the way the market goes. If you're sitting there on a desk, whether it be an algo or even still driven by humans for the few that there are still around there, do you want to go into the elections having stops on the book at 139.60 in dollar Canada, for instance, or it's so for me it's just a market fact that ahead of huge events there is a good case to get closest to the market stops done, whatever they may be and whatever the reason. Or I mean, there's no need for an economic or also reason or data reason. Most of the time, too close stops to the market are getting done ahead of big events, and that's just a fact. This is how a market functions, and I guess part of your S&P decline is perhaps also part of that, saying that latecomers are getting washed out before big events, and then after the fact we can still trade 6,000, or we can still trade while you're on the dollar Canada, we can still trade 137 after the event, but before the event, it's just risky to be so close to the market.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just the loonie. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
Setups here where you could see some, big stops get taken. And so just, keep your eye on, like look at the Aussie. The Aussie, remember, we're dealing with and I want to kind of focus here. There's obviously a descending wedge, and if for some reason, which as you can obviously tell, none of us believe, and maybe Dale does believe this. And Dale, I don't know about your thoughts on the jobs data, but let's say there's a strong number. I mean, look at the Aussie. I mean, we've had a decline, and it's been quite severe. There's a good chance that we're gonna create another low. And if you think about the election just in a couple of days, a Trump presidency, which obviously, if you look at the betting markets, they're still pushing in that direction. They've come off a little bit, but you can see Trump is in the betting markets now. This is 55-38. Nate Silver, he still sees a very narrow margins there. That's polls, not the betting markets, right? That's one of his polls, and he takes into a lot of different algorithms and whatever he's looking at. But I want to say overall, a Trump presidency, you think about tariffs and how bad that's going to be on China, on Australia, New Zealand, you can understand why we're trading so heavy here. And I can't foresee a reason why the Aussie is going to break higher. But like I said, everything's kind of leaning in this direction. What do you think? And I'm going to go back to Kman really quick. What do you think could actually turn us at this point?
About what? About the NFP today, or the
Yeah,
election?
I mean, do you think I mean,
Yeah.
let's just say there's the data comes in line as
Yeah.
expected, and that's what I think. I don't think I think even if underneath the surface it's bad data, but I'm dead,
Well, I mean, yeah,
miss. I don't think
that
we're
data
gonna.
will be
I
shredded
think
under
we're
the.
still gonna. Yeah, we're still gonna create 100,000 jobs at
Yeah,
least. You know.
that data or lower data compared to last month will be well, wiped under the rug because of weather events. I think if we come out in the whole report, if it comes out roughly as expected, the market is very quickly going to forget about it and prepare the elections. Now, can we get moves? Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it's a jobs report. I'm thinking, like you were showing dollar cat. I'm thinking about dollar yen. We've seen this hold just under 152. Get a 50K print for some reason, and you can be dead sure that some stops will be taken under 152. But where do we stop on Friday night, or where are we on Monday morning? We may be back at 153 just because we did some stops. I really think so. The surprise trade for today would be a higher number, and then conspiracy theorists will be back saying that they print a higher number. But whether, as of what I understand, should have had an impact on this NFP number. I think it's perhaps more interesting to look at the unemployment rate. If that is like 0.1 away from where it was prior, I think the market is pretty quickly after an algo move going to move on from this set of data.
Yeah, I think we're gonna quickly say we're going to get to the election, right? It's all going to be about, shoring up positions, getting things, getting books kind of squared away. And, I have some ideas, which I want to go into. One big idea, and I've got a lot of different ideas that we talk about on the morning edge and the private shows, daily roundup with ForexAnalytix. Anybody who's a subscriber, they kind of know my general thesis and setups. And by the way, let me just mention this really quick. So remember, we are less than a week away from this election. For ForexAnalytix, it's $1 for 10 days. Try it out, $1 for 10 days, because this way you get into the ForexAnalytix chat room for election night. There's going to be no better place to be, because there's going to be so much noise out there. There's going to be no better place to be in a secluded trading room with a bunch of traders, myself included. Unfortunately, Kman, you're going to be traveling, but we'll have Ryan, and obviously, Stelios will be in there, and there's going to be a lot of traders in there, just talking about the markets, and we keep politics out of it, as far as like opinions, but obviously we'll be talking about the election because it will be moving the market. You want to take advantage of that in ForexAnalytix. So that's one. And if you guys haven't taken advantage of the trader funding program, the way you pass an assessment is with volatility. And we're going to have so much volatility over the next 2 weeks. You're going to be happy when things calm down, I would think, in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. But that's going to be a perfect time to pass an assessment. So make sure you check out the trader funding program, see if it's right for you, because you will get included in a ForexAnalytix at the same time for a certain period of time, depending on what assessment you take. So I just needed to mention that first and foremost. But looking towards the election, I want to talk about squaring your books away. And this is my thoughts here regarding the euro. The euro is at a really big support, and I want to get Steve and Kman's ideas here in just a second, but I'm just going to give you a broad brushstroke. This is major support. It comes in at 107.60. I don't think we're going to break it unless until the election. Right up here is 110. I don't think that's going to break until the election. So what that leaves us is about the middle of a range in between a big event risk, which is going to be around 109 or 109.50, maybe 108.50, but 109 where we're currently trading, I have a feeling we're going to be very close to this level that we're trading at right now ahead of the election. So what that means is any big number or any big move you see today, like if the euro slams back down to, let's just say 108, you need to be a buyer. If it goes back up to 109.50, you need to be a seller. The reason why I say that is because, a Harris win or a Trump win is going to give us two results here, big, starkly different results. A Harris win, the dollar would be sold and the euro is going to be above 110. A Trump win, and you're going to see the euro, below 107.50 in this major trend line here. So, as you all know, as I say it quite a bit, before a big event risk like an election, I think we're going to be in mid-range, and this is the middle of the range, and the dollar is going to be very binary. Now, you could try to make a guess. I don't know if I'm going to pre-position myself into the election this next week. Most if you guys are ForexAnalytix subscribers, you know where I want to position myself, but I don't know if that's going to be possible after today's non-farm payroll. But with that being said, Steve, do you have any last minute thoughts before we get into the jobs data today?
I'm not even sure the jobs data, although as I said, it's more likely to be a bid than anything else, is going to move the market because of the huge event risk of elections, as you very well said, Blake. So I seriously doubt the market, people are going to decide to take new positions. In fact, you said it yesterday on the morning edge, and I agree 100%. What we've been mostly seeing is position squaring, right?
Yeah.
And I don't find any reason why people would want to do something different than that in the days ahead.
Yeah, and so you would probably agree then any major move that we see today or any big move is probably going to be faded, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Kman, we are just a couple minutes away from this data as well. You have any last minute thoughts here?
No, well, I agree, and but the thing is, well, although I'll be off, I'm still a trader. I'm still going to watch markets, but I'm not going to have, but apart from my very, very long term, but it's like literally a position that's been going on for years in silver, but that I will be managing, but I will not have any dollars in position, and if I have anything, it's probably going to be on the crosser side. I've got very little interest to have a dollar position because of what I've said. You can be positioned any way. The market can move 2 or 3% and take you out if you use stop losses on any dollar pair. So I've got very little interest in having a dollar position ahead of the elections. After the elections is a different issue, of course.
All right. And Coach, we're a couple minutes away from data. Last minute thoughts here.
Go with the yen breakdown under 152.
So if there's bad data and we break through 152, you think there's going to be follow through?
I do.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anything else?
And buy a break in TLT on a strong number.
All right.
And risk this week's lows with tolerance.
Sounds good. All right. And guys, just so you guys can see here to the left is the dollar index. We have yields right in the middle. The S&P is right over here to the right. And then here is your data flash that's located inside of ForexAnalytix as well. You have access to that. We are less than a minute away, and I have to say, guys, this is going to be liquidity is going to get really thin over the course of the next couple of days. So after today, you're probably going to want to start, reducing position size. I've been reducing position size all week. When the dollar yen was trading at 152 yesterday, I took all my yen off, all my, long yen or short dollar yen and all that stuff off. And I've just been reducing positions all week long. And I think you need to be very, very careful as we head into this next week. Monday's not a bad day to take away from the markets. I would suggest, I know some of you junkies won't do that, but hey, I'm going to give you that warning. All right, well, let's brace for this data. It's about ready to come, and the market's looking for about 115,000 jobs. Hopefully, you guys all have your NFP guesses in to the ForexAnalytix guess here. Here comes the data.
12K.
What?
12.
12K? No
Wow.
way. No way.
Oh yeah.
I just closed my Euro
That
longs.
is your weather event is right there.
Yep, I'm
Woo!
taking positions off right now as we speak. I'm taking my Euro longs off as we speak, and I
Okay,
just
380 is a big level in the Dixie. If you pull up the 4-hour daily, so you know that it's going to open the door if it sticks down here. Okay, and bond should have a good day too. So we'll see.
well,
S&Ps aren't doing much on this. They're heavy.
no, probably
They're
because
acting kind of
everybody's
heavy.
thinking the exact same thing. You know, and I just booked all my Euro. Wow,
See,
that was
so the
quick.
conspiracy theory, I guess Trump paid off the data
The
providers.
BLS.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because everyone said, "Oh, we're going to probably have 1 million jobs created because the Fed's political. You know, everything's political." Well, there goes that theory.
Yeah, right.
They showed you, man.
They did. I'll tell you guys, you know, this is this, you know, this move in the euro dollar, I think, you know, as most people know, at least, you know, the ForexAnalytix people know, I'm looking for this 38% retracement at 109.35 to cap any rally. And I was looking to get out of my longs close to that, but just realizing that this data is weak, but it's like you know, it's everything's going to be faded. I just figure I'd take an opportunity above 109 to sell it, and we got really damn close. But Steve, you have any thoughts before we oh, it looks like he left. Kman, you have any thoughts before you leave for us for a couple of weeks, because we're going to miss you, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this report is probably going to go down as the weather report. But okay, 2 words about the elections. I think the surprise move would be Harris. Probably dollar gets sold, and then after a while stabilizes because of the continuity. But I have my own, which is against most of the market opinion, is that if you see that famous 3, 4, 5% dollar rally on a Trump victory, I'd be there to with a huge hammer to slap it, because I think it's going to be in the end counterproductive.
Yeah, I agree with that, but let me ask you this, K-Man. And this is the contention point, right? This is where I agree with you. You know, let's say stocks go higher, let's say the dollar goes higher on a Trump win, and you say you would fade that, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you fade the dollar? Because you know the dollar, and this is my big hang up, is the dollar is going to be bought on, you know, Trump win. But I don't know if I would fade the dollar, because let's say stocks actually spike higher and sell off, which I think they're going to do. The dollars, I think, catches a bid because people go, oh, it's risk aversion, A, but B, tariffs, you know, and you know, where else am I going to go? I mean, that's my thought about not
Yeah.
fading the dollar. But what's your argument there?
No, yeah, but I'm not saying that I'm going to sell the dollar on the 6th of November.
Yeah,
It's all going to take a bit of time, but you
sure.
can have this kind of reaction on lower stock markets. But I reckon, personally, that's just my personal opinion, that once the dust settles or the market wakes up, we can have both. We can have both stocks coming off and the dollar coming off. And even with higher yields. I mean, but it's going to, you have to be selective on the instruments as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one of my strongest feelings that if Trump gets elected is that gold trades over 3K really, really rapidly. That is one of my strongest feelings. For the rest, yeah, you have to look at timing as well of moves that are going to happen, because you can have several waves. You can Trump build America, buy American, don't and tariff the daylight out of all the rest, is at first going to be pro Russell, pro tech probably as well, but then in a second wave, I think that protectionism, and if you tariff yourself out of the market, out of the rest of the world market, if that's his real plan, if that plan comes to fruition, is going to be counterproductive for everything American, right? Absolutely everything American. And yeah, I'm taking a big let's say stance here, but I think if Trump wins, I'm going to be on that side, and I'm a trader, so I will manage my risk as
Sure.
always.
Of course, of course.
But
Okay, it's good to hear
no,
your thoughts,
I
just
think
because
it's,
I know
yeah,
you're going to be leaving us. So
and I think also the opposite, and but then it will depend on how the government and how Congress and everything is shaping up.
yeah.
But if you look at continuity, I think Harris, you could sell everything, but then and after a while that will stabilize.
Yeah,
So
and that's what
mm,
Stelios was saying too. He
mm,
was he thinks that if it's a Harris by the way,
mm.
there's some models. I think I can't remember who was saying it yesterday that really suggesting incumbent there's going to be an incumbent winner. Anyway, I think it's close, but I still think Trump's
Yeah, I
going to win.
think it's
Let's
close
just
as
let's just
well, you
say
know. I
yeah,
think
let's
it's
just say
close.
Harris does win. Stelios is like, well, I think it's still going to be status quo, and I'm like,
Well, with some nuances. Kamala versus Joe is going to be slightly different, but broad lines will be some sort of a continuation.
yeah.
But you
I
will
don't
see,
think it'll make any difference because when you're flying an airplane into a mountain, it doesn't matter if you hit the left side or the right side.
There you go, Dale.
yeah, but it depends, Dale, whether there's a lot of snow on the mountain or not. Because if you
Uh,
have a heap of
it's still
snow,
going into the mountain. You
yeah, but
pick
you
the
can still have a
place.
soft landing.
Oh yeah, on
A
the
heap of
snow.
snow.
Yeah, I've seen those movies where people crash in the Arctic and they get hungry. Anyway, Kay, have a safe trip,
Cheers, bro.
and we'll miss your commentary and your presence. And 2 weeks, I hope, flies by, and you're back here and settled in, and we kick ass when you get back.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Yep. We're
all
about
right,
11
all right.
in the dollar yen. It's just hanging by a thread there, huh?
Yeah.
150, 70, 80,
Uh,
90.
that's a Wile E. Coyote setup right there, where Wiley's on the cliff and the Roadrunner. Yeah, and then that's what happens to Wiley. All right, so that's what I think. So,
Oh well, yeah,
late. Go
Dale,
ahead.
you gonna still trade it ahead of the election here?
Yeah,
All right, man. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I miss too much stuff trying to get. There's too many red numbers or red events to always be getting out. I usually do, but no, I'm just gonna, think the charts are telling us, we had a couple down days in DJT before the market sold off. So I don't know who's gonna win, but I'll manage it. Maybe it's not gonna be as big of a deal as people think it's gonna be. We'll
What?
see.
Oh,
Maybe
all
it
right.
won't
Now,
be.
now, now, now that's crazy talk.
Yeah, maybe it won't be a bit, I mean, everyone's thinking it's going to be an earthquake. Maybe the earthquake uh, happens as time, I think, as if time goes on and there's no declarations. And, you were talking about one one side winning or the other side winning. I think it's going to be possible that during several times over the next few weeks, it's going to look like one may have it, and then it's going to look like the other may have it, and it's going to flip around. So instead of being obvious, because there'll be challenges. So, it might look like one day that Trump has 270, and it might look like one day Kamala has 170. So get ready for that too.
Mm.
All right. Well, we will definitely
Hey,
be prepared.
Moro,
Go ahead, Kman.
you came all guesses taken into account. You came third in the NFP competition, so I give you 2 weeks for free in our community.
Thank you, Kman. Actually, you know what? Why don't you skip over me since I took third this time and give it to somebody else? I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, then you win your body weight in respect from everybody.
So, Bran asked, "What was the number?" The number was what? 22,000? No, 12,000.
Well,
12,000.
Hey, all week I said, what if we have a weak number? No way.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
are
mean,
you
you
I'm
going
know,
the
to
ultimate
Norway?
kind. Huh? If you guys would have said there could be a weak number, I would have probably said, oh, no, no, it's going to be huge.
well, Dale,
Anyway,
you didn't put in your
I was just
guess.
talking my book. I needed a week. I
You know,
needed a weak number.
I
All right.
needed a weak number too, and I just, matter of fact, I used that weakness to get out of all my dollar positions. Just literally about while K-Man was talking. So let's just do that.
Well, Blake, have a great weekend, man. I know it's cooled off there, and you could, go outside and enjoy the best time to be in the desert.
But first,
Or
I will
mountains.
be filming the week ahead video, so be prepared for that. I'm going to do a big election special, not a big one, but I'm gonna get you guys a couple of really good ideas for either situation, whether we have a Trump victory or we have a Harris victory. So I'll be preparing that today,
Oh,
and
you're
thank you
doing
very
that
much.
live on
Yeah.
the streets. You're going to go to polling places and have someone film you, and you'll be talking about the markets, aren't you?
Yeah, except
Be a
everybody's
good
carrying a
backup.
sidearm around here. I also want to mention we're doing something special for you guys for the next week. We just made a decision this morning. We're gonna give you guys an opportunity. If you can take a $1 trial with ForexAnalytix. You just select a semi-annual or annual plan. Because you have to make a selection. But we're also going to offer a buy 1 month, get 1 month free. Because there's going to be so much volatility the next couple of months that we lit that up for this next week. So for ForexAnalytix. So take advantage of it. That'll be available as of this weekend. So if you want to buy 1 month, get 1 month free, that's 50% off, then take advantage of it. It'll be after this weekend, guys. We just made that decision literally moments ago. So all right, Coach.
Yep, I'm going to make a guest appearance in the chat room on election eve.
Oh,
I'm just coming in at 7:30 to say goodnight before I have my milk and cookies.
No way, Dale. We'll be sitting up literally. I will be sleeping at my desk that night, like 30-minute snippets. I know that's what's going to happen.
That's my
And
retirement.
we're gonna miss
Blake.
K-Man there because K-Man, I know he would normally be around the clock on election night. So
Well, you guys just keep taking that crystal meth and you'll be able to trade for 7 days straight.
all right. Well,
Anyway, all right.
K-Man, have wonderful travels. We'll see you in a
Thank
couple
you.
weeks, my friend.
Lovely jubbly. Safe trading, everybody.
Yeah, take it easy, bro. All
Thank you,
right.
Coach.
All right. So Blake, that's a wrap, right? We did our best again this week.
We
It was pretty
tried.
good.
We tried our
Yeah,
best.
yeah. We had, some decent ideas this week and the last few weeks, and I know you're still going to be stalking that peso. Is your
I am. That's number one. That's one of the top ones on my list
Yeah,
going into this
yeah,
next week. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
All right. Well, I hope you guys you got an edge by being here. Is Face your edge? I know it's an edge for me. It's got to be for you. All right, so Face is an edge. Can you imagine magnifying it by 10? Just the amount of hours you could spend with people who you hear in Face and ask them questions. Okay. So spend $1 this weekend and watch it grow into a money tree. And that's a wrap. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy your last weekend. I'm kidding. We'll have lots of great weekends.
I was like, what?
Oh
Wait a
my
second.
God.
What?
Enjoy your last weekend. Anyway, I'm kidding. We'll have more weekends and we'll have more weeks of trading. And no matter what changes happen, as long as they keep the casino open, you could count on us giving you actionable ideas. So have a great weekend, Warriors, and we'll miss you, Kay. And Blake, I'll see you Monday, bright and early. Uh, yeah, you'll lose an hour's sleep
Yeah, we have
on
a time
Monday.
change this weekend.
Yeah,
But actually
dark
we
out
gain
here at
we
4
we
in the
gain.
afternoon.
Oh, I gain an hour, Dale. I gain an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It gets
Yeah.
dark
Yeah,
here.
so be advised. And I know we were light on our attendees. We always are on the week that we have a time change.
Oh,
It's tough
yeah.
for a lot of people around the world because they have their schedules a certain way. But next week we'll be back to normal. So
It wasn't. It was pretty good considering then this week. I thought.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I
pretty
mean, I'm
good.
just saying that, this is
Yeah.
usually the week that and it is that everybody's kind of thrown off. So we'll be back to normal next week.
Okay. So let me just give some people a heads up for what they could look forward to. What kind of guests we have for the first week of November. Um, you know, it's about a 3.5 month rotation. So we're going to start it off with Andrew, Kim, Thomas Mellinen, um, Katie Stockton,
Oh wow,
and
she's gonna be. Is she coming in
yeah,
at the end of the week next week?
Thursday, and then Michelle will
Whoa.
be here Friday. So we have
Oh,
5 interviews next week, part of your intelligence gathering. So tune in, especially
amazing,
for Michelle and for Miss
Katie.
Stockton. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's really good. So,
she
okay,
is.
guys, have a great weekend, and we'll go to work on Monday morning. We'll hit the salt mines. Okay, take it easy,
Thanks,
brother.
Coach.
All right,
Have a
man.
great weekend, everybody, and Kman. Have a safe trip.
Cheers, everybody.
All right, see you, man.